Greetings, chess fans. I have a very important announcement to make. I have officially solved chess. You're like thinking, what? What are you talking about? But listen, I'm looking at the accuracy of my last 9 games that I have played in the first Serbian league in Bajina Bashta, which is very close to the border of Bosnia and Herzegovina. And I'm just going to tell you the numbers. 94.5, 97.5, these are percentages. 97.1, 96.4, 93.9, 96.7, 96.2, 98.5, and now 97.9. So in the last 9 games, including the game I'm about to show you, I have performed at an average accuracy of 96.5%. I don't think I have ever played this good. There's a small drawback though. The first 8 games, me playing the perfect chess, it didn't really bag me any victories because all of them finished in a draw. So I am like repeating some of the best runs of Anish Giri or Wesley So, and now I really know how it feels. And probably a certain individual would say that all of this is really interesting. We should start a procedure. But anyway, I'm doing my best here. The victories are not coming. And I have one more game. So round number 9. By the way, there's going to be 2 more rounds. Round 10, round 11 as well. And as you're watching, I'm going to be playing, when you're watching it after the video is released, round 10 game against a young Turkish talent, Hussein Selim from Turkey, only 17 years old. So this game, I want to show you that I played in round 9 against another talent from Hungary, Adam Kozak. He used to be 2600, obviously a GM, very strong GM, very solid. And I just want to show you what happened this game. But before I proceed, I would like to pay a special hello to a certain chess fan, because I got a word that my videos are being watched actively even at competitive chess. So special hello to Max from team SV Erkenschwick 1923 in Bundesliga. So you probably know what I'm talking about. Nikita showed me that you're watching my videos. Really, really appreciate it. Not only you, Max, but everybody else who is doing it. It really means a lot to me that you find the videos instructive. Thank you, buddy. Really, really appreciate it. Anyway, on to the game. So I was playing with a white color against Adam Kozak. I decided to opt for knight of 3. And the story is this, that before the game I was trying to get my opponent into the territory of Queen's Indian defense. Because if I will play d4, I noticed that Kozak mainly plays either knight of 6, c4, e6, knight of 3, and then he plays either d5 or b6. And it was basically a 50-50 choice. So I thought with the move knight of 3, it makes sense to invite him to go in this direction because he doesn't really play the kings in an attack positions. I think not only him, but many pros, they generally don't like these ideas. And again, kings in attack is typically should castle, d3, knight e2, and e4. So that's why here I was hoping he is going to play something like b6. I could play d4. This already is something that I played against Ferenc Berkes a couple of rounds ago. Transposed to the Queen's Indian, and I had prepared a very, very serious stuff. And I can't wait to unleash this to somebody. He didn't do that. He played c5. And I think he had seen a couple of my games that I had played with c4 in the Olympiad. I played this against Yevgeny Romanov. And then I think I had one game against Tom Kantans. And recently I think he had played against Ferenc Berkes, I think even in this very tournament. So I think it was knight c6, d4, takes, knight e4, knight f6, knight c3, 6. And lately I've been quite fond of a3, but he has figured out that this is the best setup for black. So I looked briefly into these lines. I checked that he had played even some games against Fabi Caruana, even though I think it was some title Tuesday game, but black is doing really well in these lines. So I thought, yeah, probably not the best opponent to play this against. That's why I just transposed to e4. And now the trick is, I decided not to play e4 with the first move, because he could play e4, e5, and let's just put it this way, I don't really enjoy playing lately e4, e5. And I was hoping he's going to go for the queens in the defense, but if he plays c5, we transpose the Sicilian. So that's why the ordinary moves. He played e6, and I decided to go back to my proven formula. I'm a big fan of the Anti-Sicilians. I don't have the time or stamina to research the open Sicilians anymore. Maybe I'll do it at some point, but at the moment, there's simply too much on my plate, so I'm just sticking to the proven formula. There's some nuances why bishop takes on d7 is a bit out of fashion right now, but I just decided, okay, whatever, let me just play the old stuff. I have literally played it hundreds of games, mostly online, but also a lot of games over the board. And I can figure that most professional players, even if they know how to position the pieces, every single one of them is still struggling with some practical decision making. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So knight c6 makes sense. Black is fighting for these squares. I play d4, and there we go. Marazzi bind. So the Marazzi bind is a famous pawn structure, and I think that if you want to become a better player and you are a competitive player looking for ways to grow grow your understanding, you should at some point include some Marazzi bind. And the point is, you want to squeeze your opponent and just make sure there's no counterplay. So my opponent played the obvious g6, knight c3, bishop g7, bishop e3. Like, all of this is pretty standard. Knight f6, black threatens to play knight g4. And I'm quite fond of the move f3. I don't know, I'm thinking maybe I should consider also h3, which is a slightly different setup. And I think that the idea here mainly is that white is thinking about a short castle on future f4. So to be more aggressive at the king side. But I like f3, I have no issues about the move. Castles, rook c8. So he wants to take on d4 and harass the pawn on c4. I defend it. And I played it very quickly, because when I was playing the entire tournament, I was very slow in the opening phase. I was making very slow decisions, I was trying to recall everything. And for this game, I decided I'm going to be way faster. So I played the opening very quickly. At the moment, I had like 1 hour and 35 minutes on the clock, because I already had played something like this more or less a million times. And there are some modern trends in this position. Like, I think the main idea here for black is to play a6, try to take on d4, play b5. And I even wrote a course on this. This was one of my very first courses for modern chess about 5 years ago, to play queen d3. I was basically the one who came up with the concept, and then everybody started to play it. So the point is knight e5, queen e2, doesn't matter which rook goes to c8. I play b3, b5, and now the very important move is knight e5. So I'm threatening with a fork, black takes it, and if black tries to play something like e6, I simply have a better pawn structure. So that's a target, there's some easy game, double the rooks, etc. I haven't yet got this game in any of my games, but this is what I was advocating back then for my modern chess course. But I mean, theory has obviously evolved, and I think there's this trend to play b5 and d5. Now, if I'm not terribly mistaken, and somehow black keeps the equality. Was it here or maybe a different move order? But I mean, all I'm seeing is the pawn. And even in these lines, there's a couple of ways how white can test black's position. Maybe I'm mixing up. Maybe it wasn't not exactly this move order, but there are several chessable courses who advocate exactly this line. But my opponent played here, which is slightly inaccurate, because now after b3, now this idea doesn't work anymore. Because if he plays a6, I play queen d3, I stop b5, and if he plays knight e5, I just play queen e2. I don't need to play queen e2 anymore. You see, my pawn on c4 is defended and there's no b5. So this is pretty important. And also the knight to d5, it might feel like it's an active piece, but actually it's becoming a target. I'm going to play h3, f4, put the rook on e1, and go for the kingside attack. So he made a really small inaccuracy. After some thought, here Kozak played queen d8. And the idea typically is to free the d7 square for the knight. The other idea here is very often black plays e6, but I think this e6 move with d5 is more frequently played if black plays rook ac8, b3, and now he plays e6. And even this line is not like super clear, because I can play queen d2, d5, I can take on c6, I can play e5, and maybe bishop c5 or f4. I already don't remember the theory here, but I mean, I'm just doing great. I have a great position here. Great control of the weaknesses. His bishop is bad, and I guess he has to play f6 at some point, and then we get a pretty interesting game. So this d5 doesn't immediately solve black's problems. Anyway, it would have been a completely different game. So he played queen d8, I played queen d3. Engine here likes knight d to e2 here, which is quite common, but I was not sure, like, in the game, is this the right moment to retreat with the knight? To play queen e2, watch out for a6, b5, and this knight is ready to go to f4 and d5. So I was still pretty happy with this position, and I thought if he's going to trade the knights, play knight e7, the most important thing is I don't want to trade the queens. I want to take, I want to play f4, rook e1, like e5, f5, knight e5, that's basically a free attack. So I'm not risking anything, I have a small plus, and I have an easy game. So that's what I wanted to do. He played knight e7, so the big idea is he wants to trade a couple of times and trade the queens. This is what I was writing in the course. So for example, if I go here, it's not very accurate. He's going to trade the queens. I'm slightly better, but it's not enough. It's simply not enough. So that's why I played king h1. He played a6. And here I made a mistake. It was so stupid. I think at the moment I had like 1 hour and 24 minutes versus 50, 55. Like he is spending quite a bit of time. And I was thinking here, what's the right way to continue? Because obviously he's hinting at b5. Like trade on d4 and play b5. So I was thinking, is this the right moment to take on c6? Because I knew this idea exists, and he has to face a pretty big decision. Like if he takes with the rook, maybe I can trade off the bishops here, and there's going to be no queen trade. Like I'm pretty happy about this position. And b5 is not easily happening, so if he goes here, trade, I play a5, knight c5, queen c2, queen b4, rook b1. There's no counterplay. Like b5 is never going to happen. Like I have it covered. And I'm going to simply attack at the kingside. Also watch out for knight e5 and b4, of course. So I knew that this idea to play a4 is good with only one pair of knights on the board. But after knight c6, of course, he could take with a b-pawn. And I'm somehow not sure about this, because what he wants to do is to play c5, put the knight on c6, and anchor the knight on d4. So I was not sure if this is a good moment to play this. Like if I go here, he plays knight e5, he plays c5, he plays knight c6, I accomplish nothing. So that's why somehow I discarded this. And I was looking for something else. But to be honest, I think here I can probably play something else as well, like even here, just to protect the knight. He plays knight e5, like here, c5, rook e1, knight c6, f4, knight e4, queen d3. I think it's pretty decent. And I'm thinking about some kingside attack. Maybe it's not a lot, really. He plays e6. But the point is he has no a5, a4 idea. My knight protects it. And it feels like his knight is really well standing in the center. Let me check with Stockfish what the Stockfish say here. I did not really check the position with an engine, but I was thinking this kind of makes sense. Yeah, engine says solid advantage to white. 0.5. Yeah, so black has seemingly accomplished everything he wanted, but there's no counterplay for black at all, and I'm just doing at the kingside whatever I want. So I think I should have done something like this. Take on c6, and he would have to make a pretty big decision. I played rook c1, which was based on oversight. Because I was thinking that if he takes it and plays b5, I can take it and play knight e5 with some pressure. That's what I thought. And I thought that if he doesn't do that, if he doesn't take it, then he probably plays some queen a5. And I was thinking, okay, now I can take on c6 with the same idea. Like now rook c6 is even better because I have knight e5 threatening with a fork. And then I'll carry out all the ideas to go for this bishop trade and start a kingside attack. And if he takes with a b pawn, then I was thinking either bishop d2 or maybe some slower move like rook c2, trade the bishops, and again, go for f4, etc. at a kingside. But I missed that actually this b5 is a really good idea. So the point is, obviously, knight b5, rook a2, black immediately gets a very good game. I have a passed pawn, but with so many pieces on the board, I don't think it really matters. Black is incredibly solid. So this was my big idea, and I thought that he has to play something like e6. I'm going to play knight e3 to have some attacking ideas to the king side. This is, I think, quite risky for black because his dark squares are pretty weak and the pawn on b5 could be a target. And I was hoping that maybe there's some scenario where I can push this position for a while, even though it's not a lot. The other idea I was thinking also knight b4 makes sense. And if he trades the queens, like takes, I play king g1, attach the king, and I have a chance to either target this pawn or press these pawns as potential weaknesses, like in some rook endgame. Let's say d5, knight e5, takes, let's say here. So this is one of those positions I was looking at from afar that he doesn't want to play passively. I think I'm going to simply be dominating the rook endgame. Probably Engine is going to disagree. But here, I'm completely fine to test this position without any risk for the win. Maybe it's a draw, maybe it's not a draw. Who knows? Like, I don't know. And probably my opponent also doesn't know. But all of this was irrelevant completely because my opponent just played knight f6, which is a pretty brutal move. And I realized I have to take it, otherwise I have completely nothing. So I still took it. I mean, here first I took on c8 because I thought the c file doesn't matter. I need to have less pieces on the board. I played here. And I was thinking that, you know, he's going to go for the weak pawn trades. Like, he's going to play rook c5 as he did in the game. I played here. And I thought he's going to play like f5, take with f5. I'm going to rearrange my pieces. I'm going to attack the pawn on d6. That was my big idea. He's going to defend it. And I'm going to have some pressure. Like, I was hoping for something like this. I mean, objectively, it's nothing. Like, Engine is laughing about my ideas. But I was thinking, you know, maybe there's still something here. I have a chance to organize an outside pass pawn. The rook is really weird. And maybe I can make it work. Now, what happened next was a rude awakening. Like, he played queen c7. I played here. Like, he played rook c3. And I realized it's an incredibly strong idea. Now, his idea is to play queen c5 and rook c1. My king's weak. He's playing against my king. Now, what should I do? I thought if I play queen d5, he plays queen c5. I cannot trade. I have no more weaknesses. I mean, actually, he's simply standing slightly better. So I cannot do that. If I put the rook here, I think the same. He just plays rook c1. He's threatening queen g1. My king is really weak. I don't know if this really works. Oh, this looks so bad. King g4 is just wrong. You just don't play chess like that. So I thought I'm going to rearrange my pieces, put the queen on f2, queen e1, and I was feeling pretty okay with the position, and I thought he's going to play the rook. Rook c1, he's going to go for the first rank attack. I'm going to play rook d2, rook b1, he wants to play queen c1. And I was looking at these positions and I was feeling, yeah, it's not super great, but probably I'm also not doing badly. And I thought, like, if everything fails, I can just go, here and go back, and he gives me this check, and so what? Even though I know I'm blundering rook f1. It was pretty bad what I did here. So this was still somehow balanced? I don't remember. But at some point I realized, like, I'm not playing for anything here. And you know what really amazed me when I saw the engine's evaluation after the game? The engine said that black is better. Like, having a worse pawn structure, he's better because he is having more active pieces. So the key idea here is, what was it? Wait, I think I got it wrong. I think it was, the point was d5 or, yeah, I think it was this. Here, was it rook d3, I think, and queen d5, like this. And suddenly he has incredible amount of pressure against my pawn on f3. g4 is a big threat. I saw something like this from afar, and I thought, like, I'm definitely pushing because I have an outside pass pawn. I just didn't understand the position. Now that I'm seeing it, of course, I realize, yeah, my king's weak, his piece is so active, but during the game, I was so concentrated how I am the one who is pushing, I didn't realize I'm worse. But luckily for me, neither did my opponent. So he played b4. And now this entire idea of d5 doesn't work anymore. I rearranged the pieces. He put the king on e7. And I was thinking, I mean, what can I do? Like, I could try to play rook d5, force him to go for the endgame first. I mean, this position, I think, for black is pretty safe. Like, I win the b pawn, but it cost me the h pawn. There's no way I'm playing this for the win. I'm down a pawn, actually. And the second thing is I need to watch out for some rook c2. Yeah. And what about takes and takes and takes and takes? Who says that I'm better here in this endgame? So there's also that. So I thought I need to include g4 so that my king always can go to g3. And after the game, Kozak said that maybe that's the reason why he had to include h5 first. Play h5, be ambitious, stop g4, and then they only play king e7. But I mean, come on. Like, I don't think I'm in any trouble here whatsoever. And if I feel threatened, I can just take on c5 and whatever, make a draw here. So he's slightly more active, but I'm never in any risk. At least, I think so. So king e7, I play g4. My opponent played rook c1, queen d4. So I was inviting him, take on d4, give this check. Of course, I would love to play this position for a while, but even that is a draw. And I invited him to play rook c2. And then I can take on c5. Here, I can take it. Because this check gives nothing, and I'm winning a pawn endgame, actually. So here, king e5 is a 4, d5. I'm going to win this. So the b pawn is weak, and his kings and pawns are going nowhere. So I had to calculate the pawn endgame as well. And if he plays rook takes on c5, I'm attacking the pawn, and this is exactly what I want. But he didn't do it. He played rook c3, and I cannot make a progress. Like, there's no way I can make a progress. So I play queen d5. I invite him to take, and I'm going to take with the rook. So again, I can invite him to do this, collect the pawn on a2 and press a bit. But he just wouldn't budge. And yeah, I realized I have no moves, basically. So I play queen d4, play queen d5. And we agreed to a draw. Sensational result. 9th draw in a row. Can you imagine this? So, yeah, I'm thinking actually what's the longest streak of draws I have ever done? Definitely not 9. Like, it's something new. And yeah, but I'm playing well. Like, I have nothing to complain about. Like, maybe I'm a bit tired. Like, I'm a bit worn out at the end of the tournament. I can feel it. I don't have the same energy anymore because there's so much going on, like, every single day. Like, I'm prepping like crazy. Every single day I'm prepping for at least 2 hours, maybe 3. because this is preparation for me for the upcoming FIDE World Cup. I'm fixing my openings because I know it's wrong to do it in the opening phase, but this is also when I can force myself to find the time to work on chess. So I'm fixing Queen's Indian, I'm fixing the Catalan, I'm testing new openings, I'm testing Caro, I'm testing D4, D5 with black. I have to repeat this stuff all the time. Then at the same time, there's the coach champs going on, the edition, like chess.com announced who's the best chess coach in the world. I did not think of the slogan, to be honest. You have to forgive them. Anyway, that's for pure marketing. Anyway, so there's 8 coaches, and I'm one of them. We're training 4 students, and I have to train them here while in Serbia. This happens also in the mornings. And then there's the regular coaching as well. I also have my own students. So you can imagine this, like every single day there's this impossible schedule of 8 hours or more chess related. So it's very tense, and now it's like 10th day already. So I feel a bit worn out. I feel okay, like normally, but I'm a bit tired, to be honest. That being said, I will do my best. And in the first 9 games, I was playing most of the games with the black color, which of course is, I mean, at the competitive chess with the black, it's difficult to win. And today in this game that I'm playing against Celik, I'll do my best. I'll definitely do my best. If it's a draw, fine, it's a draw. What can I do, right? But I have essentially run out of GMs. So, like, I have run out of 2600 ELO players. Now I'm running out of GMs to play. There's only 2 IMs left, even though very good ones. And then I'm running out of games as well. You know? All right. So anyway, thank you for your support. I'm still feeling all right. It's just, yeah, not winning 9 games in a row doesn't feel that great. But I'm not losing 9 games in a row as well. And in the World Cup, all that matters is being solid. And again, this is, in the grand scheme of things, preparation for the World Cup. So in this sense, everything is great. For the team, unfortunately, not so much, because the team is relegated. Yeah, it's just, it just really pains me that I cannot help the team anymore. Like, I would love to score more wins. And then we keep missing the points. We keep losing matches by minimal scores, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And we're fighting until the very end. But the girls' team is doing really well. So they're leading right now the tournament, sharing first and second place. So all eyes on them, of course. We're going to try to finish on a positive note. So I'm going to finish the recap right here. Thank you for watching the video. Really appreciate your kind words. And you know the drill. Press like. Subscribe to the channel if you're not yet a subscriber. I would really, really appreciate it. And leave a comment. What do you think about the games? I know there's Bundesliga going on right now this weekend. Also some other leagues. The league season is starting right now all over in Europe. So a lot of stuff is happening. But I'm saying goodbye to you. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Same time. Take care.